Hey guys, Fletch the Football Observer here, and today's Fletch Talks video is going to centre around the confirmation that Frank Lampard has officially been appointed as the new Chelsea manager. Yes, after weeks of speculation linking him with a vacant managerial role, a role that was left vacant due to Maurizio Sarri leaving the Blues and heading back to Italy to manage Juventus instead, Chelsea officially confirmed that the Blues legend would be returning to Stamford Bridge as the new manager of the London club. It's a move that a year into his managerial career no one really saw coming. It was fairly predictable and certainly inevitable that one day he would manage Chelsea, but many believed that the chances of Lampard returning to the Bridge as a manager would happen several years down the line. But the fact of the matter is that Chelsea have decided to approach Lampard early on in his managerial career, and it has raised questions over whether this is a premature move on their part, and I'll address those questions later in the video. Lampard entered into management last year with Championship side Derby County. In what is a tough league to get out of, a very unpredictable division, Lampard led Derby to a 6th place finish, meaning that they had the opportunity to be promoted to the Premier League via the playoffs. Lampard guided the Rams through to the final but fell at the final hurdle to Aston Villa. On review of that season, Lampard was praised with how well he took to management despite this being his first job. He was consistent in how he carried himself and represented the club off the pitch, as he said all the right things to the media. He was further praised with his inclusion of youth within the squad and finding a good blend of youth mixed in with experience, and getting his team to play some nice and attractive football at times. If he had achieved promotion, the narrative would have been played up a hell of a lot more than what it has been. But to say that this is his first job in management, he led a club in one of the most difficult and unpredictable leagues in world football to finish where they were on one game away from gaining entry into England's top tier division. It's all seen as a promising start to hopefully a bright career in management for the former midfielder. From that promising start, he has managed to land what I assume is his dream job in becoming manager of Chelsea Football Club. But there has been some early questions thrown up about this appointment. Questions of what will this mean going forward for the Blues, and will he be as successful as a manager with the club as he was as a player at the club? Well, what this means for Chelsea Football Club is initially they welcome back their golden boy, a club legend, a man who played 640 games in a Blues shirt, scoring 209 goals and helped in leading them to 3 Premier League titles, 4 FA Cups, 2 League Cups, and also led them to Europa League and Champions League triumphs. The man has pretty much won everything there was to win with the Blues, and he returned to the club where he well and truly made a name for himself. Automatically, this appointment bridges the slight gap that's been dividing the club away from its supporters over the years. It's been no secret that there's been underlying problems within Chelsea, and their supporters have been left a little frustrated over the years with the club's approach to their off-the-pitch business or their choices of management. Lampard is a guy who gets the club. He's an icon, he's a legend within that club. He understands the fans better than anyone, and I'm sure that the supporters are very happy with this appointment and will therefore give him the time to go on and build something really special here with the Blues. Some of the Blues faithful have been accused of judging a manager too soon though, the latest being Maurizio Sarri, who many supporters grew tired of well within his first and only season spent with the club. And I'm definitely someone who's accused them of doing that. But here, considering that he's a club legend, a young manager with a hunger and an eagerness to learn, grow and test his knowledge of the game on a bigger stage such as this, and considering that the Blues are also hit with a transfer ban right now, the supporters will not only want to see him succeed and will have to give him the time to do so, but they also need to give him the time to do so because of all those factors. From the club's perspective, the fans will be on board with this appointment of the 41-year-old, as they've managed to keep them on side here. The early consensus appears to be that this is a very popular appointment amongst the majority of the Chelsea faithful, but going forward they have to back Lampard and show loyalty towards him throughout. The fans will not turn on this manager as quickly as they have on past managers, and the board and the people at the top of the club's hierarchy have escaped the majority of the criticism in the past. But if they upset the supporters with their treatment of Lampard and how they do business together, then they will surely feel the wrath of the Blues fans rather than have Lampard as a shield for them to take the hit, which is just something for them to bear in mind. But in my opinion, the most exciting layer of this appointment though is the squad aspect. We all know that Chelsea have a highly rated youth setup, an academy that is producing a lot of highly rated and talented youngsters, and many of them have been sent on loan to many different clubs across Europe down the years. Well, next season we may get to see some of them make the step up to the first team. The club's transfer ban could provide the club with the perfect excuse that they need to look into promoting some of their youth players in order to cover the squad, which Lampard is no stranger in doing. I've already mentioned that Frank used several youngsters within his Derby squad last season, and a couple of them actually came from the Chelsea youth too, with the likes of Mason Mount in particular shining in the Championship last season for the Rams. Lampard, along with Jody Morris, who he has brought back to Stamford Bridge with him. Morris, of course, was Lampard's assistant at Derby, and he too has history with the club as both a player and as a youth team manager for the Blues. Brought out some great performances from some of the youth players during the last campaign, and this will be the perfect opportunity not just to promote and show off some of Chelsea's young talent, but to also show how creative Lampard can be despite this transfer restriction. And he can also display further his man management style as well. So in this regard, exciting times lie ahead for the Chelsea squad and the Blues supporters, who next season will more than likely get to see some of the Chelsea's young talent on a bigger stage. And it's not just the youth that will benefit from this, as I'm sure the entire squad will as well. His passion for the club, his drive and determination will be key to driving this team forward, to inspire them, to motivate them, and it all comes down to morale. If he can channel all of that into boosting this team's morale, Chelsea will likely go on to be returning to challenging for club football's biggest prizes once again. Now, in regards to whether or not this appointment is premature considering Lampard's lack of managerial experience, I guess the real basic, boring and impartial answer that I can give to this is that only time will tell. His age and experience are only factors that are going to be raised depending on his level of success. They both could be factors that go against him should this not pan out how everyone associated with Chelsea Football Club are hoping or expecting it to go, or with the qualities and attributes that he possesses already and has already shown as a manager, he could continue to be a stable head coach and go on to get even better over time, and therefore he could go on to build something truly great at a club that needs it. I mean, take Manchester United for example. They've recently brought in a club legend as a manager in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and whilst he hit the ground running to begin with, a few months into his reign as manager has seen the wheels come off a little bit, and a big reality check has hit both him and the club hard, and it's something to bear in mind with this. It won't all be sunshine and rainbows, especially not during the first season, but the bigger picture, should it all work out, will be a pleasant and enjoyable piece of art nonetheless. But overall, this is a very unpredictable but exciting time for Chelsea Football Club as a new chapter begins with the return of a familiar face. We wait and see how Frank Lampard will fare now that he's been appointed as the manager of Chelsea. And that wraps up this video on Frank Lampard being appointed as Chelsea manager. But of course, this is just one man's thoughts and one man's opinions on this topic. I want to know what you think. Is Lampard the right man for the job? Will he become a success at Chelsea? Is it too soon in his managerial career to be taking on this job? I'd love to read your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below regarding this subject. Otherwise, hit that like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things will be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch the Football Observer. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video.